I'd like to welcome everyone to the Comedy Factory Comedy Chat. I've landed a guest today that I've been trying to get for a while. He's hard to pin down. He's a busy guy. My son, Dave Perrotta. He's the author of the best-selling book, Conversation Casanova, which has been unbelievable. He gives a lot of dating advice. He helps guys get the girls they want and help them to become the man they want to be. He's got a YouTube channel with almost 50,000 subscribers. He puts videos out, and he's done a phenomenal job with his book, and he's an entrepreneur. Dave, welcome to the Comedy Factory Comedy Chat.
What's going on? Glad to be here.
We finally hooked up. So I wanted to ask you. You went to the University of Rhode Island, and you did well, and did some partying out there, and you got done. You got a degree in accounting, bachelor's degree, and when you received your bachelor's degree from the University of Rhode Island, myself, your mom, your friends, everyone was saying, "Okay, Dave, the next logical step is go for grad school, go for MBA, become a CPA, and all that stuff." And you went to your education advisor at URI and decided you told him you don't want to go to grad school. And what did he tell you?
Yeah, man, you're just like, well, if you don't go to grad school, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do with your life? And I was like, I don't really know, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. Like, I don't really want to be an accountant. I just kind of realized that, so I just decided to kind of go on my own path.
You didn't want to. I remember you telling me. You said, "Dad, I'm not going to spend my life in a cubicle in an office for the next 40, 50 years. I thought about it. I don't want to do it." And you told me you were going to work from your computer, travel all over the world. And to be honest, I thought you were nuts. I thought you were crazy.
Well, here's the thing, man. Like first off, when you talk about it from a parent's point of view, like from your guys' point of view, right? Like the parents are always going to want you to take the safe route because they want you to be as safe as possible. They want the fastest route to just like safe success, because they like, as parents, you don't want your kids to be in danger, right? So anytime your kids are start taking risks, you're like, whoa, like let's just go on the safe route. Like make sure you have a job, make sure you have income coming, all that type of stuff. So when you talk about taking a risk, like there's always going to be, like parents are always going to be questioning you, that they're going to think it's a little crazy. They're going to caution you against it. And it's not because they have bad intentions. It's just because like you guys want me to be safe, and I think parents in general want that for their kids, but it doesn't mean that that's the right choice. And for a lot of times it's not, because if you think about it, like boomers, that you guys grew up in a different age where like you did have to have a job. You did have to have a consistent income. There was no option to work online. So the world's different now, though. Like that, all of that is a possibility. And I started to realize that as I was going through like college, I started to realize like, wait, there's another path possible here. And yeah.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that path. I couldn't put it together because when I was young, like you said, my father, my grandfather, we had to go to work and that was it. So I'm thinking that's the same for you. And then you told me I'm gonna not go to grad school. I'm gonna figure out the next few months what I want to do. And I'll never forget it. After about 5 months, you were working on your computer and you said, "Dad, I'm gonna move to Vietnam for about 6, 7 months." Now I was in the Navy back in the 70s, and the Vietnam War had just stopped. So when you said Vietnam, I mean, I'm not thinking, oh, it's a great place now. I'm thinking this kid's gonna be kidding.
I was gonna get killed by like an angry Vietnamese war vet. When in reality, like I don't even know if you understood how the Vietnamese war worked. Because like I was going to Saigon, which is South Vietnam. Like South Vietnam, they were on our side. Like they weren't trying to mess with us. But like North Vietnam is where like it was super communist. So I was all good in the South.
I took a class at Roger Williams University. Vietnam vet taught it. It was all about Vietnam. So I mean, and he told a lot of crazy stories. So I was like,
well, it's a lot different now than it was in back in 68, 69.
Oh yeah, when you moved there and you started, I mean, when you first went there, I was very nervous. I remember I was going on stage that night and I was waiting to hear that you got in all right, and I was nervous. And then once you got settled and you you started telling us it was good over there, and you stayed there, what, about 6 months?
Yeah, it was about 6 months. That was my first time traveling outside the U.S. for a long period of time. So at that point, I decided like I wanted to come back for a little bit. I was still kind of getting my foundation built, so I had to come back.
And and after Vietnam, now you did some copywriting in Vietnam. That's what you started to do at first. You learned how to
Yeah,
do
man. Well,
copywriting.
the whole way I ended up, you kind of glossed over it, but the whole way I ended up like starting to travel and stuff was I was like, all right, I want to start traveling around the world, doing what I want to do, not having a boss. It's like, all right, well, what kind of skill can I learn that's going to allow me to do that? And there's a bunch of different online skills you can choose from. I always enjoyed writing, and there's something called copywriting, which is basically like when you read emails or like sales letters, like different things on your email, right? Like that's what copywriting is. It's basically like trying to sell you through the written word. And I started learning that skill. And within a few months, I was getting like paid clients through that, not for a bunch of money or anything, but I was starting to get paid. And I didn't really know what I was doing still, but I was starting to build progress. And then eventually I landed an online gig, paying me a couple thousand a month doing it online. And that's when I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go out to Vietnam. I know there's a bunch of entrepreneurs out there, sort of online entrepreneurs, and I knew that 2K a month was enough, more than enough that I needed to live out there. Like you could easily live out there for 1K a month. So
Didn't you know a couple of friends that were in Vietnam before you went out there?
yeah, I had one friend from Boston who was out there and told me about it. So that was good to have that connection.
Yeah.
And once I got out there, man, it was just like that. There like there was a big circle of entrepreneurs, and it was easy to connect with more, and it was a lot of fun.
You made a lot of friends. You made a lot of friends all the places that you've traveled to.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing for me, man, was that in order to do something like this, like there's gonna be something that forces you to kind of like see through the matrix of life, right? Because most people exist inside of the matrix. Like they're like, all right, I need to just go get the job, go get the office, I need to get a wife, have the kids, get a house, all this type of stuff. And for me, it was like once I started getting better with girls, that's when I was like, wait a second. Everyone is telling me that I can't go and talk to a random girl, and like like people's telling me like, yo, you can't go talk to the hottest girl at the bar and like make something happen with her. You can't. Like that's not possible. Like, that's not how life works. And once I said, oh wait, I figured this out. I can do this. Then I was like, what else can I do that people tell me I can't do? What else is it? And that's how I started to like fuck. I don't want to work in the office, man. I don't want people telling me what to do. Like I'm gonna keep exploring this route.
So now you went to Vietnam, you came back. I think you stayed home for a little while. And where did you go from there? Where was your next move? I know you traveled.
You understand, man. Once I left the country, it was like, and for a lot of people, it's like this too. Once you leave and move away, if you can get some type of online structure set up, then it's like the door becomes open for anywhere in the world. So I ended up coming back from Vietnam, stayed in the U.S. for like 5-6 months, and then from there, I ended up going to I got another online gig. And the guys are based in Medellin, Colombia. So I ended up going over to Colombia, and that's why I ended up learning Spanish. From there, I ended up going to Mexico, then bouncing around the world to like Japan, Germany, Spain, Europe, all these different random places, probably like 20, 25 countries at this point that I've lived.
Wow. Now, when did you write your second book, Conversation Casanova, became a bestseller, which fascinates me to this day. I'm so proud he has my son to write a best-selling book. Like I think you told me once that I forget it was one. I don't know how many thousands of books can sell over 10,000 books.
Yeah, well, it's up over 50,000 at this point, like worldwide.
50,000 books, yeah. And it's in Poland. It's in Spanish. It's all over the world.
Yeah. I mean, I was living in Playa del Carmen in Mexico for a couple of months, and that's where I just I want to have some passive income, like income that I don't have to work for. So let me write another book. But I'd already written a book before that didn't do that well, like on Amazon. That book 5, it did all right. It didn't do that well though, right? Like it wasn't making too much money. And I was like, I'm gonna try to do this again. I made some friends who had some success selling on Amazon, and I kind of figured out what strategies they were using better. And I was like, all right, I'm going to take a different approach to this. I'm going to make sure that people actually want to buy this book before I write it. I'm not just gonna. I think a lot of people just write. Oh, I'm gonna write a big book and then I'm gonna put it out on sale and hopefully people buy it. Like that's not how it works. Nobody gives a fuck. No one's gonna buy your book just because you put time into it. Nobody cares. So what I did was I surveyed. I had an email list at that point. I surveyed them. I was like, all right, what do you guys most want to learn about? And I had a few different subjects, and then conversation was the one that they most wanted to hear about. Conversation and flirting. So I'm gonna write a book about conversation. That was the idea behind it. I probably spent like 1 to 2 months writing it, banging it out, a couple hundred pages, and then I had like a whole launch strategy I used for it that I got from some of my friends, and ended up being a hit right off the bat. And then it's the good thing, the nice thing is it not only did it generate a bunch of passive income right off the bat, but it's continued to generate income. We're almost at like 4 years later, and it still gives me income every single month. That income that I could live off of by itself, like in Mexico, like where I live now.
The book has been a hit. I mean, there's no doubt. Like how after you wrote it, when did you realize, wow, I got a best-selling book? How long did it take you to realize, like, how fast did it?
I mean, it was on the best. It was on the Amazon. It was number one on Amazon bestseller list for Men's Health, like within days. So, and then from there, once I launched it at 99 cents to get a bunch of sales up front, and then once I after like a week, it was generate consistent sales, and I was just like, all right, I'm going to start raising the price, and I raised it to $2.99, and $3.99, $4.99, and that ended up being the perfect price point for it. So now it sells at $4.99. But once I rose the price, it kept selling. It didn't stop. So at that point, that's when I realized, like, oh shit, this is like a life-changing thing. Because now I don't have to, like before I had to work to make a few thousand a month. Like I had to put in work to do that. So it now would take up time, and I would have to that's something I would have to worry about. Now that worry was no longer there. I can work on shit that I actually care about. I don't have to grind away on like different copywriting projects just to get my living expenses covered, because now they're covered.
You're not in a rat race like most people are, where they I gotta make X amount of dollars a week to pay my mortgage, my rent. You're not in that because you got this best-selling book that's making money for you.
Well, the thing is, like once you get a passive income stream, like having an Amazon book that covers your living expenses, that's like financial freedom. Like you don't have to, like I know that my expenses are covered, and everything else I make on top of that is gravy.
Yeah.
So then that gives me the freedom to work on stuff that I actually enjoy, and in the time since I've been doing all these different projects. So.
You wrote a third book, it's doing halfway decent.
The third book it still sells as well. The Hookup Handbook, which is more about sex and stuff like that.
So you've done all that, and now that you've got this income coming in from the book, it allowed you to get into talk about some of the other things. I mean, you're an entrepreneur. You're in all these different. You've been in numerous business projects. What do you got going on now? What have you done, and what do you have going on?
Yeah, so now it's just about continuing to build, right? Like, I built out like a mentorship program where it's like a high ticket mentorship program where I take small groups of guys in, and I give them access to like a high ticket course, as well as like weekly calls with me, like weekly group calls. And then, they go through that, they have a ton of success. And basically the idea behind that is to be able to transform guys' dating lives in a matter of like 10 to 12 weeks. So they come in not knowing anything, or not having the dating success that they want. And then they come out 10, 12 weeks later, getting, 2, 3, 4 dates a week, crushing the game. Right. And so I just kind of take them through this whole system. And then I've actually teamed up with my buddy, How to Beast, doing that. And he's got 1 million subscribers on YouTube. So we're really trying to blow that up.
Dave
Dallas Morenas from How to Beast. Yeah. So, we're kind of partners on that. And then I got a few other projects I'm launching soon. And, one of them actually will be launched in the next couple of weeks, which if you will stay tuned to my YouTube channel, you'll see.
And you put out, we love your videos. You put out on your YouTube channel a video each week. You talk about all different subjects.
I mean, it's mostly dating, lifestyle advice type of stuff. Like, I think a lot of guys struggle with dating because they overthink things. They have anxiety around talking to girls. That they've been, I think a lot of guys have been fed these things that are just wrong about dating, like things that you should do, like that Hollywood tells you to do, that your parents tell you to do. No offense, but like I think a lot of people just get really bad advice, and they have no idea how to structure any type of successful dating life. So I kind of help them to work through that with the videos and stuff.
And how did you get? Because you were a shy kid, as you told me yourself, growing up. How did you go from being a shy kid to writing a book that's helping guys meet women and how to talk to women? How did you gain this knowledge? How did you do it?
Yeah, man, I wasn't cool with sucking with girls. I wasn't. Some dudes are cool with that. I wasn't cool with that. So I was like, I'm gonna do everything I can to not suck with girls anymore. So I just went out, approached a bunch of girls. I read books. I think you remember I bought like some Double Your Dating CD back in high school. I was trying to like figure it out, and eventually things started to click, and I started to get better and progress pretty fast with girls. And I was like, well, I enjoy doing this, maybe, and also. Like, not only did I enjoy doing it, but it was helping me break out of like the matrix that I was talking about before. So I was like, oh, this is something probably that I should show to other guys because it's had a huge impact on my life. So maybe it'll have a huge impact on theirs too. That was like the whole point. That's the deeper reason behind why I make these videos and write these books and everything like that. Like there's always there's sort of that deeper lesson there.
People can subscribe to your YouTube channel and catch all these videos. I remember when you graduated the University of Rhode Island, I took you to Boston. You told me this was kind of a life-changing thing for you. I took you to Boston, and I had a show at Nick's Comedy Stop. It went really well, and we were going to go home, and then there was a club, and I don't know if you or me, so let's go to the club. And we went into this club. I think it was the name was The Cure. Or I'm not
I think it was Cure, yeah.
Cure. So we went into this club. And I remember you saying, Dad, see that girl over there? I'm going to go talk to that girl. And I think within 5 minutes, we were kissing her or something. But
it was pretty funny night, man. You were playing the wingman.
I was the wingman.
But that kind of opened my eyes. I was like, I'm done in the Providence scene, like the whole Boston scene. Like there's so much, the nightlife is so big out there. There's a lot of different variety in terms of like the types of girls you get out there and stuff. And I was just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna figure out a way to start going to Boston more often, and that motivated me to find friends out there.
Yeah, you told me a few times that night is kind of what changed you.
That night opened my eyes. I was like, shit, like I want to do this. I want to have like these adventures. So I'm gonna try to figure out a way to make that happen.
So I think I should get 10% of the book sales.
We'll see.
I mean, if I guided you down that path, shouldn't I get a cut?
Well, we'll have to talk about it off the call. See if we can negotiate something.
Now, have you have any other thoughts of writing any other books, or possibly down the road, or?
I'll probably write another book at some point, but right now, I'm kind of trying to like the books are nice, but I already have like the passive income streams from them, right? And now it's about trying to like take shit to the next level. Like building this coaching program, like we're taking shit to the next level with that, right?
You have a Facebook group where you go on with Dave, How to Beast, and how many guys do you have?
The Facebook group is I run the Facebook group by myself, right? So the one I run by myself is like there's like 1,500 guys in there. So I run that, and then I'm gonna be launching like a private paid Facebook group as well in this couple of weeks. And then I run that Facebook group. I also run, like this private mentorship group, and that's we're really trying to take that to the moon. And then like I said, I'm building out I'm about to do another launch here within a couple of weeks, and so I've been working on some different stuff that's, like the books are nice, but I'm trying to generate like larger lumps of income fast versus just having it be passive over like a few years, which is nice too. But I already have that, so now it's time to I'm trying to keep building, keep leveling up here. So yeah. I'll write a book again for sure, but it probably won't be for another year or two.
Yeah, I think people would look forward to that because you've already got a best-selling book. And the amazing thing was a friend of mine lives out in Hawaii. One time he messaged me. He was with a guy, a friend of his, and he had your book in his car. He showed him the book. He said, "That's my friend's son." And I've had other friends of mine that were in the middle of when they realized you write something in a book about me doing comedy or whatever you wrote. But another few friends of mine have told me, I'm reading your son's book. So your book is very, very, very popular. It's worldwide, like you
I
said.
mean, it's a lot of copies, man. Yeah, at some point, you're bound to know somebody who's read it, right?
50,000 copies. That's an amazing thing, you know.
Yeah, no, it says that was the first real domino to fall. Like
I mean, you couldn't have predicted when you wrote that book. You never could have predicted it was going to be a bestseller.
I think it was good. I was hoping to maybe sell a few hundred copies a month for like maybe a few months or a year or something like that. But like, it's still selling 4 years later. So
that's phenomenal.
I mean, I wrote it as like an evergreen thing, so that like it's like communication. Like it's not like it's like, oh, like those communication techniques don't work anymore. It's like it's how you talk to people. Like it's not going to change, at least really for the foreseeable future. So
yeah. Now you were a dating coach for a while.
I still am.
You still do that. But I mean, you were actually getting hired by guys, and they flew you out to California.
I would do it in person, but I started doing it. I stopped doing it in person. I started doing like online coaching because you can like in person you can't, like it's only for like a weekend or something. Like there's only so much you can do in a weekend. But online you can do it for like 3 months. Yeah, you do it. Yeah, when you do it over a 3-month period, that's how like some transformations can happen versus just like having a fun weekend. It's like now, like you're gonna be a completely different dude at the end of these 3 months.
I remember you had the videos. This one company flew you out to California and they had you do approaches, going up to talk to women, and they would videotape it. And there were some pretty cool ones.
Yeah, it was this thing called Simple Pickup. They had like 3 million subscribers at the time, and they flew me out. They had this thing called Project Go, which was like a course on how to pick up girls. And it was just like they would go out and they would have like infield videos, basically just like videos of them like talking to girls and breaking it down. And I ended up winning a competition. Like they saw some of my videos. They're like, yeah, we're going to fly you out. And then they filmed me with a bunch of videos for them, which is funny because it was my first time ever doing something like that. So I still get recognized occasionally from like, yo, you're that dude from Simple Pickup. Like you, I saw those videos, man. That was good shit.
Yeah. You've done some a lot of rap songs too. You're a pretty good rap artist, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I mean that's something I was trying to add to my YouTube videos, like not like just some fun raps. Like I added one last Friday. Dude, people really liked it, so now I already go and recorded for the next week for the next video. So I'm gonna start adding those. It's like sort of like self-development raps that aren't cheesy, but like they're kind of like there's definitely a funny aspect to them, but just kind of like a way to mix up the content and make it more creative and fun. And like I enjoy making them too, so it makes it.
I really enjoyed the rap from the video last week. I said you gotta keep doing these. It was great.
Yeah, I'll keep it. Okay, I told my audience like if this video gets 500 likes, I'll do another one, and it got over 500 likes. So I'm gonna do it again.
Now, in your travels, you went to Colombia, and where have you lived? I know I lost track. You lived in different countries for periods of time. You like I know you went to Japan. You didn't like Japan.
I wasn't a big fan of Japan, but there's nothing against Japan. There's certain countries you're just not going to vibe that well with, and it was just like.
And Peru.
It's not to say I didn't really like Peru that much either, but there's plenty. The problem is like the way I travel is different than the way a lot of other people travel. Like when I travel, it's like I'm living somewhere because I'm going there, I'm working online, I'm doing my shit. It's like I have my regular life, but I'm just in Japan. And sometimes in certain countries, there's a lot more friction to going about your daily life than there is in other countries. Like in Mexico, one of the reasons I really like living in Mexico is just there's very low friction here. Like it's easy for me to do shit here. Like I get a home office hooked up with good internet. Like it's super cheap. Like it's easy to get delivery. Like there's parks I can walk around. Like it's easy. It's a very good balance of life, low friction. Right. Versus really? A place like Japan, like I don't speak the language, like nobody speaks English. Like there's not a lot of good cafes to go work from. Like there was frustrating aspects about a place like Japan and a place like Peru when you're trying to like live there and work versus like if I was just trying to travel to Japan, like it would be a different story if I was on like a vacation. Right.
Yeah. So you literally travel and work from cafes all over the world. You told me you were going to do that, and I just said I didn't see it, but you have done it, which is amazing to me. You work where you are. You could go to Japan, you go wherever, and you work. You go in a cafe, set up your office, or you just do it. You work from anywhere you are.
Yeah, I mean that's the future, man. I think that's the I think a lot of people don't realize it yet, and it's still like a very small percentage of workers are doing this. But I really do think like the traditional way of like jobs is not going to last for
I
that
mean, I
much
think what
longer.
you've done is amazing. Like I wound up going to work after the Navy. I went to work in a prison for 36 years. I was like, you didn't want to work in a cubicle. I was locked in a building.
Yeah, but that was like the
36
thing.
years.
That was the thing back then. Like that, like you get your pension, you do that. There was no like, oh, like I'm gonna learn like a
Yeah,
profitable
I
online
didn't
skill.
have
Like
the
that wasn't an option.
opportunity like you did with the internet, but so I couldn't foresee what you've done. Because I couldn't do it back then. So my thinking was it was like that. Oh, you got to do this. I didn't realize the power of the internet and how you were going to wind up working from the internet anywhere you went, and it's just amazed me, really.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people don't realize it's possible still, but like it is possible. It's not that hard. Like if you spend like 5 to 6 months grinding, trying to learn a skill and like looking for prospects and clients to get paid by that skill, like that's like you can do it in 5 to 6 months. Like you can completely change your life. Like it's not that hard. I'm not that smart. But most people are afraid to take that risk and they're afraid to do it. And it's just like so far outside of the matrix for them. Like they don't even they can't wrap their mind around how like, oh wait, I could travel the world and live anywhere. That I can make I can take the limit off of how much I can make. Like I don't have to just do this. Like that's crazy. Like it's hard for people to wrap their mind around. But
I think most people can't like I was. They can't comprehend that it can be done. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Well, the thing I surrounded myself by people who were doing it. I had a few friends in the U.S. who were doing it. And then I moved to Vietnam. Everyone out there was doing it. I was like, oh shit, I know dudes. I started meeting dudes who were making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I was like, oh shit, like this is like a thing. This is like actually possible to do this. And dudes who are not only just making hundreds of thousands a month, but like not even working. They were just not even like they work like 3 hours a week and of course that was like the anomaly. I'm not really trying to work 3 hours a week. I enjoy like working and shit, but like I saw the possibilities and I was like once I saw the possibilities, I was like, yo, there's no going back. Like I'll never go back to an office again. I'll never like have a regular job again.
How
And every
many?
boss that I've ever had, I told him to go fuck himself. Like, let's be real here.
You didn't like having bosses.
I don't mess with bosses, man. I don't like people telling me what to do and where I have to
You're your
go.
own boss. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
liked working in a prison. I had a lot of bosses for 36 years. You wouldn't have liked it.
I worked as a dishwasher, and then I remember the guy didn't give me. He didn't. I requested a couple of days off, and they didn't give me the days off like 3 times in a row. And I remember I was washing the dishes, and they had these little dishes. It was at I think it was at Cracker
Cracker
Barrel.
Barrel.
I was washing dishes at Cracker Barrel when I was like 19. I started like throwing the dishes against the wall, like hucking them. Like instead of putting them in the dishwasher, I would just like fling them and start like one of the dishwashers got scared and he told on me. I just like ripped my shirt off. I was like, I'm out of here. I'm done. And I just bounced. And then now I still had to go in the next week to get my paycheck, which is super awkward. But yeah.
Then you did some door-to-door sales. You didn't like that job. You did that for a while.
Yeah, well, working the door to like I quit my first job as like some I don't know some random office job I had for a few months. And I quit that, tried to like start my online business, like did it the wrong way because I still had a lot of bills and a lot of shit I had to pay for with no money saved up. So like I basically went broke after 2 months. So I had to get another job. And that's why I was like, all right, I'm gonna get this online. I had this door-to-door job trying to sell windows and roofs. I'm gonna try to save up at least like several $1,000s and then I'll quit again. But I always knew I was gonna quit that job. It's just a matter of like, all right, I need to save up enough money to where I'm gonna be at the point where I'm gonna actually have like 5 to 6 months to build something versus just being screwed out the gate. So
Yeah.
That's what I did, yeah. And it's possible. I've had dating students, because a lot of times my dating students, like, they'll be trying to learn online business too. Like, I helped a guy this week. He's like, I'm gonna start learning copyright. I'm gonna get back into it. He made $300 this week alone, just like putting his applications out on like some of these online sites, and some of these online job sites, stuff like that. And so yeah, it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible.
Yeah. And I didn't think you'd settle down there, because you were a dating coach and you were kind of traveling all over, and then you met a nice girl.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, I was traveling all around, having a lot of fun, but I think at some point, like, all the partying and like the craziness started to catch up to me a little bit. Like weekends staying out till like 7 a.m. and I got to be leaving the club, and then the lights, like, it'd be light out in Japan. I remember, or like different places. Like it was crazy. And and my next day would be completely screwed. It's like, I can't keep doing this. I need like a balance in my life, and I need some extra support, and that's, Yugi's really helped me with that. And it's a different lifestyle for sure, but there's a lot of good things about it. So I was definitely hesitant to make commitments like that at first, but it's been good.
Seems like it's done well for you.
Yeah, no, it gave me a lot more time to focus on things. You know what I mean? And I'm not throwing away like 2 days of my week just because of partying and drinking too much.
You had that story told me about in Japan that scared me. Thank God. What happened? You were in Japan. You were in a nightclub. And,
oh yeah, I'll tell you about this.
Tell me that story. Can you tell
me? I was in a nightclub in Japan, and there was like this back room in the nightclub where people would go back and smoke cigarettes and stuff, because you can smoke inside in Japan in some places, and it was a little bit of an outdoor area in the back, whatever. So I go to walk through the back door, and this like older Japanese guy is probably like in his late 40s or something. He just throws a shoulder at me. And I'm like, this motherfucker. And I just like throw a shoulder back at him. And then all of a sudden he like steps back, and he's got crazy eyes. He's just like, oh, like he's just like looking at me like he's fucking about to kill me. And then he starts yelling like Yakuza, Yakuza, like, and Yakuza is like the Japanese mafia, right? And apparently they're like a mainstay at that bar. And this dude just like squares me up like he's about to start like fighting me. And I'm like, yo, man, I'm sorry, like a dumb American, like didn't know, like I apologize, like I'm trying to diffuse the situation, and this guy's not having it at all. Super drunk, just a crazy Yakuza Japanese guy, and so he's squaring me up. And meanwhile, my buddy Danny is right behind him, and he sees this whole thing going down. He's got a beer bottle in his hand, about to smash it over this guy's head. This guy looks like he's about to pull a knife out of his back pocket to like stab it. I don't know what's about to happen. And I'm looking at the security guy. He's just like, he's not doing anything. He's smaller than the Yakuza guy. So I'm just like, man, I'm about to die right here. And I'm like, if I throw a punch at this guy, he's gonna kill me and all of my friends, because I'm sure that they have a crew there, right? Like a whole crew of Yakuza. So, but lucky enough, he ended up like looking away for a second, like saying something to the bouncer, and I just like sprinted out of there. And I got the fuck I went and grabbed my friends. I was like, yo, we gotta bounce. Like, let's get out. And
you got the Japanese mafia after you.
Yeah, we all left, and then yeah, that was sort of the end of it. But we were like, we were definitely. I was scared, man. I thought we were gonna get like tracked down or something. But I learned that you never like don't fuck with a Japanese dude, because like if when a Japanese guy gets aggressive, like usually they're pretty chill in Japan, right? Like they're not aggressive. So if they are aggressive, then they're probably in the Yakuza, and you probably shouldn't fuck with them.
You didn't go back to that
I've had stories
place.
of people, like, I actually did go back to that place, but like he was probably too black out to ever remember me. But yeah, but there was a lot of my buddy was like stayed there a little bit long because he didn't know that he was with me, and there was a lot of Yakuza guys up on the second floor, so it was a good thing that I didn't fight back.
Are there any other crazy stories from your travels that I don't know about that you could tell me now? Did you have any other close calls? Was that
I
the
mean,
worst?
I always was getting into some type of shit, man. But yeah, I think that was the main thing. Like, there's definitely been a couple times in Mexico where I almost got into a couple of fights. I like I remember I started talking. Like, I was at this bar in Playa del Carmen. I don't think I ever told you about this. I was at this bar in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and it's like by the beaches. And I was talking to this girl, and it's like this really just shitty bartender kept coming up to her and just like begging for her number, for her phone number while I was talking to him. I'm just like, bro. And eventually I was just like, bro, like, calmate, calmate, which basically means like, chill out, bro. But those are kind of like fighting words. Like, I was kind of aggressively being like, yo, chill out, bro. Get fucked. Like, get out. You're bothering this girl. You're pissing me off. Like, you want to get fucked? Like, get out of here, bro. And but he was the bartender, and I was there. My friends had already left at that point, so I was there by myself. Next thing I know, every single like 10 guys who work in that bar are just surrounding me, and they're just like, "Yo, you need to get out of here, or you need to get your ass kicked." And I was just like, "All right, you know what? Like fuck this girl, I'm out. I'm out of here." And I just
Jesus, Dave.
I never like that. That's a bar that I never went back to.
So you got the Japanese mafia after you, got 10 Mexicans surrounding you. These are stories that don't tell me till later. I hear you,
yeah. No, it was yeah. I mean, so sometimes she can get a little aggressive when you're out there. Like, you have a couple drinks and dudes are being.
I think you're better off that you got a girlfriend now, a nice girlfriend, and you chill out. You're not in these situations as much as you used to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, for sure.
Not hanging with a bunch of guys and being out in the clubs as much as you were.
Yeah. No, for sure. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, one thing I've learned is that, like, when you're in a different country, like, you don't know the rules there, you don't know how it goes. Like, don't start fights because you don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I've had enough friends who told me about fights that they like, situations that they've gotten into like that, like with Thai bouncers. They started fucking with the Thai bouncer. All of a sudden, they're getting jumped by like 10 Thai guys, and just like, and yeah, there's a lot of like there'll be like these small little dudes, and they'll come up and they'll just, if there's 10 of them, there's nothing you can do, right? So yeah,
Jesus, man,
crazy shit. Yeah, but that's, I wasn't often in those situations, man. Like, that was once in a blue moon. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, before, where else? It's crazy. So where else have you traveled? I know you went to New Zealand, and your friend lives out there. You went skiing, and you got a concussion.
Yeah, New Zealand, Australia. Yeah, I was in New Zealand, Australia. Went skiing in Queenstown, beautiful place, but fell face first. I'm not that good of a skier. There's no trees in the mountains there. It's just not above the tree line or anything, but they just like don't have any trees, so like the depth perception is hard. And I just fell and hit my head. Ended up having a concussion that kind of messed with me for like 6 months. I would have like days where I just couldn't do anything for like at least like 3 to 4 weeks afterwards, and then random days for like 6 months afterwards. I'd be like, well,
thank God you're all right. I remember that, so thank God you're all right.
Yeah, but the concussion thing kind of forced me to have a healthier lifestyle. Eat healthier.
You work out a lot. You exercise.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you in the gym, man. But you don't want to go. But
well, we'll see. So what else? I mean, you've done quite a bit, man. You made a heck of a life for yourself. You got your own different business projects going. You're a best-selling book. You got a YouTube channel with almost 50,000 subscribers. Put out videos every week. You just got so much going on now. What else in the future? Is there something in the future that you got to go for down the road?
Just keep building, keep leveling up, man. Never stop. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I've learned to invest in myself and invest in coaches and invest in business coaches, invest in like people who can build stuff for me that's going to help me generate income, and I just always like trying to like get to the next level and build something, because if you get to the point where you stop trying to grow, then you fucked, then you're dead, right? So
you put a course together that people can buy online too. There's a video course that people can buy online.
Yeah, well, for any of this stuff, if you want to get any of my stuff, just watch my YouTube videos. I got links in the descriptions. You can check out different stuff like that. More stuff coming soon. But yeah, I'm going to keep building it up, man. It's not just going to be dating in the future. It's going to be other stuff. Hopefully get into real estate, get into, different types of investing, because you don't want to just make money and then just don't do anything with it, right? So it's always trying to, like, whether it's investing in yourself or investing in some other type of income generating asset. Like,
so if people want to see your videos, they just go Dave Perrotta,
search Dave Perrotta on YouTube. It'll pop up.
do videos, and from there they can get into different other things that you got going on.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I finally got my son to be my guest on the Comedy Factory chat. It's been great talking to you, Dave. Needless to say, everybody's proud of you. You've done. Said we didn't know what to think, and
I didn't do anything that crazy, man. All I did was think differently, and I just, like, I took
you thought
action on a
outside the
different
box.
route.
You thought outside the box.
If you can think outside the box, like, there's a lot of shit you can do. Most people don't think outside the box. Most people live their whole life scared. So don't do that. Yeah. You'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean, you created a lifestyle for yourself that's really phenomenal. That a lot of people would love to live in a nice place, a warm place, and be able to work when they want to work. I mean, you work a lot, but you work when you want. If you want to take a day off, you take a day off. You want to work a couple of days.
Yeah, I can try. I can travel to go back to see you guys every few months, whatever. Unless there's a pandemic, worldwide pandemic, then it becomes a little bit tougher. But yeah.
And you did. I remember back in January, you were telling me that this pandemic was coming and better stock up on food. And you said, Dad, you don't understand. Your shows are going to get canceled. And I was like, I thought it was going to be like the flu. I said, Dave, you don't understand. I've been doing this 29 years. I think I got sick twice. I don't cancel shows. And you said, Dad, you don't understand. You knew this in January before the government knew, because you had friends all over the world. And you're telling me this, and all of a sudden, my show started getting canceled and the pandemic hit. And it was like, Dave was right.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been more like the more paranoid type of dude when it comes to the type of stuff. So, like, I kind of saw it coming. I was like, yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop this. Hopefully there's not another big wave and it just kind of ends, because, like, we're all just kind of sick of it at this point. Like,
yeah,
and
everybody's sick of it.
lives.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's been great talking to you, Dave. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap things up?
I think that's about it, man. I think we covered it.
Covered it. Think outside the box. Read Dave's book, Conversation Casanova. If you're looking to meet women and how to converse with women, Dave's got courses. He's got YouTube videos, numerous things going on. He's done quite well for himself, and we're proud of you, Dave. I want to thank you for coming on. Kind of a different format than we usually talk, but I've asked you some things today and found out some things that I didn't even know, and you're my son. So it was great talking to you. And, of course, we wish you the continued best of luck. And Oyuki, you got a great girlfriend living in Mexico City. You're happy, and we're very happy for you and wish you all the best.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, stay healthy.
Later, guys.